Hello, everybody. Rob Cootie here. The MLM Solution. Today is Freelance Friday, our favorite day, Freelance Friday, where we talk about anything, and I mean anything. If you've been listening to us lately, you'll notice that we have been covering many subjects, a wide range of subjects, and it's always entertaining and fun. We hope that you join us and that you enjoyed as much as we enjoy doing it. So that being said, as always, we go live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you can see there by the ticker, all you have to do is use hashtag DMLM Solution, hashtag DMLM Solution, to find us on our social media platforms and also to join us live on our Facebook page or our YouTube channel. If you will, also use that hashtag to share our platforms and our daily podcast show with our fellow network marketers all across the globe. Please understand that you can have a positive impact on their lives by exposing them to this wonderful information so they can use this great business model to change their lives, okay? All right, with that being said, please visit our website. You can hit the share button from there as well to let them know about our website. As you know, it has been updated, refreshed. It's short, concise, to the point, with a lot of great information, easy to navigate. With that being said, I'm going to hop off here. We'll see you in a few moments.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie. Happy Friday. Happy Friday.
Good morning.
I can
Happy
see.
Friday.
You have something. You have a visitor with you?
We have a special guest today. He's wandering around the office at the moment. He might jump up here in a second. I don't know, but he's still, I locked him outside yesterday so he wouldn't be a distraction, and he sat out there and howled the whole show. So today I let him in, and during the intro, he's in here howling, and I'm like, dude, I'm right here.
He's letting you know that he's not happy.
Well, I think he is happy. He's just trying to figure things out because we just got him day before yesterday.
Yeah.
So they're still adjusting. We're working on it, but
cats take a while to adjust.
Yes, they do.
Doubt about that. Yes. Well, good luck is all I can say.
I think maybe I'm going to need it.
I think you might be right. I'm glad that you and not me. I've been through that. I know that as much as we love animals, as much as we love cats, when these pass away, these will be the last. I mean, hell, I'm 63 years old. I'm going to have to rethink even getting a new dog. That dog may outlive my butt.
Well, that is the tricky bit, right? Because especially with cats, you're talking like a 20-year commitment, and these guys are 4 and 5 years old, so more like a 15-year commitment. But
yeah, it's a commitment. There is no doubt. And but I'll be honest with you. As much as I complain about them, and I really don't complain all that much, but I do complain. I'm not going to say I don't. I will tell you that they bring a lot of joy and laughter, because I sit there and I laugh sometimes at the things they do. And our oldest cat, well, not oldest, our alpha cat, let's put it to you that way, Phoebe, she has a vocabulary. A lot of people are like, yeah, right, whatever. But once they get around and they hear her, they're like, oh my gosh, that cat talks. We'll say, get down from there. No. I'm clear as a bell. No. She'll say out. She'll go to the door. Out. Out. She'll also say what? Phoebe, quit doing that. What? And boy, she's got an attitude. I'm telling you, if you were around, you'd be like, oh my gosh. Even people that don't like cats that come to our house, like, oh my gosh, a cat talks. Does it do that all the time? But she's a calico, and come to find out, they say they do that. They have a vocabulary. I didn't know
Calicos
that.
and Siamese are very vocal.
Yes, well, she certainly is, and got an attitude. Oh my gosh, she's a diva without any doubt. And they do have. I mean, you know, she's been around us long enough. She knows we do not let our animals up on the counters. And if they get up there, I could be in the other room. I say, Phoebe, get, because I can tell by how they walk, because they all weigh different, and I can tell. And I can say, Phoebe, get off that freaking counter, and you'll hear boom.
Yep.
And her going.
We're the same. The cats we had before, you know, we don't allow them up on the table, up on the counter, those types of things. But they're cats. They do what they want, and as soon as you're out of eyesight and earshot, they're doing whatever. So every morning when we came out of the bedroom, as soon as we hit the first two top stairs coming downstairs, we'd hear the thump as they get off the counter. Yeah.
Hurry up, here they come.
Yep. Oh, we're going to get yelled at. And then, you know, they come walking by like, what? We didn't do anything.
I know. We're so sweet and innocent. See the smile? We didn't do anything.
Exactly.
Well,
so I don't know. So I have to connect this with network marketing, of course. It's a little bit like, so this week we've done the care and feeding of trilogy, right? And we talked about new business partners, active business partners, inactive business partners, the care and feeding of them. And, you know, just this conversation about cats kind of doing what they want, even though you've told them what they should do, reminds me of working with some of my business partners.
Oh my gosh.
Because, you know, it's like you set up a system, a proven system that works. You've shown it to other people. Other people have followed the system. They've achieved a certain level of success. It's shown to work. So every new partner that comes in, you show them the same thing. But, you know, there's always some that come in and think they can build a better mousetrap or want to reinvent the wheel for whatever reason. And they're just going to do what they want to do. Right.
Yep.
And we can't necessarily tell them not to, because in the end, it's their own business.
That's right.
So, you know, if they want to be successful, hey, maybe they can build a better mousetrap. Maybe they do come up with a way that actually really works for them and they can be successful at. But then the big question is, can they duplicate it? Right? Because duplication's so important in this business model. And otherwise, maybe they come around and figure out that no, your system is better.
You know, that's a great point. And one that we really kind of need to bring up, and that is this, guys. We do network marketing Monday through Thursday, and we certainly don't want to turn Friday into another day of that. But what she's talking about is true, because look, maybe we ought to do an episode on that. I'll write that down.
Business partners are cats.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Well, here's the thing. You're right. There are people that are going to come in and they're going to do their own thing despite what you tell them. And they're going to have some success. But Miss Marie, rarely have I seen that success sustain itself. Eventually they hit the wall because of duplication not happening in the way that they thought. There are people that are strong enough, personality wise, work ethic wise, etc., that Miss Marie can make this business model work on a limited basis. And when they try to reinvent the wheel, in other words, doing it on their own, that means they have to have the knowledge to teach their people what not to do. And that the system has to be duplicatable all the way down, because if it's not, they end up stepping on each other's toes. Well, no, I didn't do it that way. I did it this way. Why are you doing it that way? Well, I didn't know any better. There's no guidelines. And then you're realizing, oh my gosh, I got to create a document. Now you're spending time doing that. You see where I'm going with this. It leads from one thing to another. You want to use a well-established, proven system that's going to produce consistent results. And all you got to do is apply the effort. So you brought up a really good point there. You've been on a roll this week. That was a wonderful point. I have.
And yeah, I think we really do need to do an episode about that, because it certainly deserves a certain amount of attention. And I've got all sorts of things bubbling up in my mind here. It's like, oh yeah, we need to talk about this, that, and the other thing. And I don't necessarily want to get into that too much right now because, for those of you that are watching the video, you can tell I'm very distracted today. Usually I'm like centered in the frame and paying attention, but today it's the first time the cat's been in the office, so I'm just trying to make sure he's not going to chew on cords and get into things he's not supposed to. So,
well, I've not had a cat chew on cords. I hear that they do.
I've heard of some doing it. I don't think these do. Not that I've been told, but you just never know. It's a new environment. We're in a transitional period here, so
that's right. You don't know. I don't.
Just kind of got to keep an eye on things.
Yes, you do. When mine were kittens, they were trying to eat. The wife sews, and they were eating. And the wife was terrible. I had to get on her a number of times over it. They were eating. They would find thread and play with it, and then they would try and eat it. And there was a needle attached to the end of it. I literally had to reach in their mouth because it was halfway down to pull that out. Man, I got on the wife. I told her, I said, you cannot freaking leave that laying around. Because she was, when I met her, she was single and she would sew and set it down. Mm-hmm. And without really giving it much thought. So, you can't really blame her. It was her house, not mine. But I told her, if you're going to have cats, you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, and we were warned, these guys are a little food obsessive. So things like bread can't be left out on the counter anymore. And they will go after string. So that's another thing. And they said, my funniest one was, she was telling me, be careful with, hair ties, rubber bands and those types of things. And it's like, have you seen me?
That's a good one. It's funny you say that because one of my businesses requires rubber bands. And if I leave the box of rubber bands out, man, I always have to, Phoebe will run over there and jump in that box. And I always have to make her get out because she'll sit there and she'll not only play with them and chase them like mice, but if I don't watch her, she'll put them in her mouth.
Yeah. It's kind of like chewing gum for a cat, I think. It's kind of swallowing it, and then that can cause all sorts of problems. So,
well, I guess you could call it that, but I got another word for it, but I won't say it. So so you're right. We have to watch what we lay out. It's amazing. It's just like having kids. I know people say that, but it is. It's hard to imagine that they can be that much they could be that much maintenance. It's probably the best way to put it. But they are, aren't they?
Yeah, but you can lock a cat in a closet or something like that. Kids, you can't really do that with. And, I always said, well, at least the animals don't.
You mean I wasn't
back,
supposed to do that to my kids?
Not recommended.
Well, I'm glad I didn't get caught. Okay, I'm kidding, guys. I would not do that.
Different era. Dr. Spock. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started on that. Woohoo! All right. So,
here's his tail.
Yeah. Oh my gosh!
If you turn around, I'd introduce him.
How we love them. We'll talk about anything. So, what do you got planned for the weekend? Anything?
Not too much. We're taking it relatively easy because, again, cats are relatively new. They're still figuring things out. So we're just got to make sure they're getting settled in and get used to things. It's the craziest thing because the one's been all over the house. The other one's kind of kept himself in the basement. But even the one that's been all over the house, he's kind of skittish. Like, if we get up and we start moving into the room that he's in, he's like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. And he runs to another part of the house. And it's like, dude, you're fine.
Well, is your wish to end up having them?
I don't know. It depends. Joe developed allergies to cats at the very tail end of the last set that we had, which is why we haven't had cats for quite some time. So we're just we're gonna play it by ear and see how he does with the allergy situation. See what happens with our friends and their travel situations. So we'll see.
But I'm
I don't
surprised.
know.
He was
Part of me really wants to keep them, and the other part of me is like, well, they're not mine.
Yeah.
So
Well, how's he doing so far with him?
so far he's been like a little stuffed up, but nothing major. But again, we've only had him for what, like 2 days, and they haven't been around that much. I think the most frustrating thing was he forgot about them being nocturnal. So of course, 5 o'clock in the morning, the boy's looking for attention, and Joe sleeps with a pillow over his head for some reason. He just likes the dark and the silent. And I don't think the cat really recognized that it was Joe laying there. So in his adventuresome checking things out, he walked across Joe's head.
That is too freaking funny.
And he pops up and he's like, what the? And I was like, dude, you're hiding under a pillow. I don't think he knew you were there.
Oh my gosh. That is too funny.
So yes, it was very humorous.
When we first got ours, Nina, the gray cat, used to run up. If she had any idea whatsoever that we were awake or starting to wake up, she would come flying. You could hear her. She would come flying in there, jump up on one of our chests, get right up on her face and go, meow. And that was her way of saying, get your ass up. I'm hungry. And that's no joke. I don't know why she stopped. I'm glad she did. And she has stopped doing that. Thank God.
Well, my gray tiger cat, if standing on your chest wasn't good enough and I'd like kind of play dead and continue to sleep, he'd eventually reach his paw up and he'd like touch my nose. And if he didn't react, it was touch.
That's funny. That's cool. They're pretty daggone smart. They really are.
Well, they're certainly not dumb, but sometimes they're stupid.
Well, yeah, sometimes they're stupid, or they're looking at us going, stupid humans. They didn't get that.
Well,
but,
you saw the memes that came out because, with 2020 and COVID and all the lockdowns and everybody was home, and they'd show the memes and the dogs were like, oh, humans are home all day, every day. I get to go for walks all the time. It's great. And then it's the cats. It's like, get out of my house.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, I could definitely see that because they do feel like they own it. That's for sure.
Well, yes. Mm-hmm. Dogs have masters. Cats have servants. That's kind of
that is so
trade-off there.
Yes. The thing about having pets, obviously, not only do they bring a lot of entertainment to your life, but they bring a lot of responsibilities that, I'll be honest with you, takes up a large portion of my day. I don't know about you, but it's like, oh, are you kidding me? It's that time already. If I'm not sitting here, if I'm sitting here and I don't take the dogs out after a while outside to get out of the house, they'll drive me. It's like they all get together and, okay, now you go up and you bark at him and you go up and rub up against his leg and I'll lick on his ankles. Between the three of us, we'll get him up. And it's like,
well, see, that's the tricky bit. Dogs are much more needy than cats, in my opinion. Cats, they use the litter box. They'll go down in the basement if they got to go. The only thing they get a little more prompting about is when they get hungry. It's like, it's time for food. Feed me. So, if you get them on that schedule and you're just like a few minutes off, they're like, dude, starving over here. Let's go.
Yeah, you're right. It's aggravating as crap sometimes, but you know what? I love them. I wouldn't give them up no matter what. So it's something that you and I can have fun talking about. But if somebody said, well, you know what? I'll take them off your hands. I couldn't do it, Miss Marie.
Yep. I'm sure it's tough. I know the couple that actually own these two are missing them terribly, and they're happy that they're getting some attention, and because they're very human centric, I think they like being around people.
Yes.
So
I can tell.
It's good that we're taking care of them, but at the same time, it's kind of like the the actual human owners are missing them as well. So it's definitely a delicate balance.
It is a delicate balance. Well, I'm sure that you'll fill in admirably. So I have no doubt about that. So, Miss Marie, no special things going on this weekend then?
No, I don't think so. Not this weekend.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm going to continue to pack. And the wife gets aggravated sometimes. She said, why are we doing this? I said, because do you hear the cat in the background?
I don't hear yours. I hear mine.
Phoebe came in here doing the same thing. That weird.
They're probably hearing each other.
It might be. The wife gets a little bit aggravated because she's like, well, it's not time to move. So look, I am not waiting to the last minute. We're going to take this a chunk at a time. It just baffles me that she thinks like that because she's really a smart woman, but I don't know if it's laziness or just I don't want to deal with it right now. I'm not sure what's going on. But I told her, I said, I know who's going to end up being the one carrying most of the bulk of the whole thing. It's going to be me. So I'm not willing to wait that long. I'm going to get my butt in gear and get down there, and I'm going to make things happen. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm sure I'm going to continue. I don't know if I told you, but I'm selling my Audi and moving on to another car. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Time to move on. I'm done with the Audi. I enjoyed it, and I enjoy Audis. I really do, but I like doing different things, And it's easy to do the status quo, right? It's easy to do what everybody else is doing. I like doing different things, not because I want people to say, "Oh, look at Rob." No. I like doing it because before I leave this earth, I want to try and experience as many things that I enjoy. And one thing, as you know, I enjoy is cars. And I've had my fun with the Audi. It's time for somebody else to have it. So off it must go.
Let somebody else have some fun, huh?
There we go. Let somebody else enjoy it. And
Awesome.
I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I really haven't. I will keep you posted. I'm looking at a number of different cars, and I don't know yet what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's just a car.
lots of options out there. So.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable! There's so many great cars in today's world, Miss Marie.
Well, and the craziest thing, talking about cars, I don't know if you notice this in the area where you live, but certainly where I am is, back when I was growing up in the first, 10, 12 years that I was driving cars, you drive around and I'm always looking at different cars because I'm kind of fascinated by them myself. And there would be like the bright, shiny new, you could tell they were brand spanking new cars on the road. And then you had the junkers and the rust buckets and those types of things. Mm-hmm. You don't really see junkers and rust buckets all that much anymore. I mean, super rare.
You know what? You're right. I haven't paid that much attention, but I think you're right.
So, it's kind of like, I wonder, do people not keep their vehicles as long? Do the vehicles not run as long? Are they building the vehicles better that they don't rust out and turn into, kind of the rust bucket junkers that we saw running around?
Yeah,
the worst things I see now is you can tell people that have gotten in a car accident and the body of the car's dented up, and for whatever reason, they just haven't gotten it repaired yet.
Yeah.
So, but, just the old classic junker,
Yeah.
The classic first car for kids. I mean, I see really, really young people, and granted, the older I get, young starts becoming like 30 something. So, but I'm talking the high schoolers. I've driven by high school parking lots, and I know all those cars don't belong to the teachers because there aren't that many teachers. No. There are some awful nice cars in those high school parking lots.
Yeah,
now, could be mom and dad's car. I'll give you that much. But even at that, I don't see the classic like high schooler first car type thing going on.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. See, now you're going to be watching for that for the next few days.
Well, no, I'm sitting here thinking, and you're absolutely right. I have not. I have not seen, and I was thinking it must be a generational thing. In other words, it must have taken these people 7 to 10 years to weed out all the cars that you're talking about. Because you're right. I was sitting here thinking about that. Interesting that you brought that up. Man, you've been on a roll this week, bringing up some really insightful stuff. And you continue.
Well, I don't know if it's insightful as much as it is just observational.
Observation. Well, speaking of that, as you know, we've been looking at houses, and we went and looked at a couple of them, and it's amazing the difference in the same neighborhood. We did not do this on purpose. It just, if you see a house, because do they have open houses there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So you know what I'm talking about. All right. So, we'll drive around in certain neighborhoods that we're looking, and we're comparing apples to apples, trying to, and it's amazing the variance you can have, right? You think, well, for the same money, I'm getting this down here versus this. And even though the square footage is the same size, doesn't mean that it's a better deal, right? I mean, that just means you got a bigger box to take care of.
Right.
So one of the houses we looked at was 959. Beautiful home. And one of the things that always pisses me off is when people want to brag about themselves. I don't like doing that. I try really hard. It's awkward sometimes to not talk about myself or, what you've done or whatever. Because, it's not about that, all right? It's about helping other people. But sometimes you got to use yourself as an example, right? So when we went into these homes, the realtor meets you. And, man, this realtor, she was aggressive and not very nice. And she was like, stop right there at the front door. And we're like, okay. And we couldn't see her. But she's yelling from the other side of the house. Well, the house was 8,000 square feet. So you can imagine hearing a voice out of the blue, right? We stop as requested because we didn't know what was going on. And she comes over and she says, the owner requires that people not be grouped together, that they take off their shoes. And there was all these stipulations. And the wife looked at me and I looked at her, and she told me after we went in there, she said, I wanted to leave. I said, well, you got to speak up. Here's a cold word. I said, because I was ready to go too. I said, I didn't want to put up with that woman's attitude. And I certainly didn't care about the house enough to go through all these hoops. Right. But we did. And it was a beautiful home. It was, had all this crown molding and all this and that, multiple room, blah, 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 blah. We go to a house down the street. This one was 959. The other one was 935. Not even the same category. Who would pay $939,000 for this house because it was on a golf course is beyond me. I cannot even fathom. That's a lot of money to begin with, even for a nice house. But when you compare the two, you're like, and they're in the same neighborhood. And you're like, are you kidding me? Somebody paid for this house? They paid that kind of money for this house? It was amazing, Miss Marie.
Well, the 3 important rules of real estate, right? Location, location, location. And apparently being on a golf course is a desired location.
I'll tell you what, if I bought that house, I told the wife, and that's one of my biggest fears. When I'm out shopping for something like a car or house, whatever, Miss Marie, one of my biggest fears is writing a check every month for something that I don't like.
Right.
That would piss me off every day. I told the wife, because there's been many times we've had words over. I said, I am not paying money for that. There's no freaking way. I won't even pull up in the driveway, So, it's a tough thing. And you know what? Here's the thing, Miss Marie, like anything in life, you feel like you got a deal. You feel like you got what you want. And 2 days later, the perfect house shows up on the market. And you're kicking yourself all the way home. If I'd have just waited that gun, someone can. Oh, man. Have you ever felt that way?
Yeah, yes and no. When we moved here to Utah, we looked at a house, and we found a house that wanted to put an offer on. I had flown out from Wisconsin. Joe was already here working, and this was back early 2000s, so checks were still a thing. And I had left the checkbook at home, so we couldn't actually put an offer on the house that day. So I had to call the realtor on Monday when I got back home with the check information, that kind of stuff. Well, in the meantime, this house had been on the market for a while, but in the meantime, someone else put an offer on the house. So when I called him and I said, "Hey, we're ready," he's like, "Well, just so you know, someone else put an offer on the house Saturday." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, never mind." And he's like, "What?" It's like, "No, we can put in an offer too. You know, we can offer more." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I don't want to play that game. Somebody else decided that was the house they wanted. I didn't love it that much. So I'm going to trust that there's something better out there." And what ended up happening was we found almost the exact same floor plan, but the biggest difference was the basement was entirely finished, where this original one, the basement was unfinished. So it was like, well, there you go, even better. So I actually lucked out in the reverse. I think I got the better deal. So
yeah, well, that's a great story. That's awesome. I love hearing stories like that. That's freaking awesome. Well, I told the wife, real estate can be an emotional thing, as you know, and you know what? You just got to pick the best one for you at that moment, and then close your eyes. Don't continue to look. Don't go to the websites. Don't drive down the street, because sure as the world, you're going to find another one. I mean, that's just the way it works. And it worked out for you, but it doesn't work out for everybody.
Yeah. Well, and I think I'm funny about houses. It's like, it has to be a house I can live in and be comfortable in. But I don't get super attached to it. Like, yes, it's home. Home is where the heart is, but it's a house. It's the place I live. For me, it's more about my people than it is where I am. So I'm not one. I know a lot of people like to go to the parade of homes and those types of things to get decorating ideas and see what's the latest and greatest. And I think it just builds up a bunch of jealousy and envy and a desire for something that you don't necessarily need. And I'm not into that at all. Like we're talking about potentially moving. So I've got, MLS lists coming to me, and I'm kind of looking at things online, but we're nowhere near the point where we're actually going to go physically look at a home. Yeah. But even that, I'm like, yeah, boring.
Well, you're a woman after my own heart, because that's how I feel. Having grandkids, my goal when I buy a property is my home is to be an entertainment facility where my grandkids enjoy coming over, and we have activities and the land to have those activities to where they can safely play and enjoy themselves. And to me, that's really important, as you can imagine. And so we have a little bit different purpose when we're looking for a home versus I understand completely what you're saying. I love your approach. I think that's a great and healthy way to look at it. I don't get caught up in the the Joneses scenario either. I think that's silly and stupid. I buy a house that fits my needs, and then I don't look around to see what somebody else has. I could care less. And that's not being mean or anything. It's just like, okay, they got their life. I got mine. They got what they want. I got what I want. And that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
But let's see here. Where are we? We need to call this a day.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're about ready to roll into the weekend, I think. That's right. Where we are.
I agree. All right, let's close it out. We've talked enough about cats, homes, and all that. So, going to get a new car and a new home. How fun is that, Miss Marie?
Yeah, that's
got a lot of changes.
It's fun and it's a pain at the same time.
It is a pain. It's a pain. And, with my health issues on top of that, going to multiple doctors for my lungs, for my arm, and all this crazy stuff. As if I didn't have enough on my plate as it is, right?
Falling apart, man.
Oh, don't even start. All right. With that being said, guys, if you want a replay of today's podcast or any of the podcasts, you can go there to our podcast replay page. I'm having a hard time here. When you go to our webpage, you'll see the link at the top. All you do is click on podcast replay. You'll get a free gift. The free gift changes all the time. Just because you see the numbers game here on this particular example, it does not mean that's available right now. There's a URL. And if you want, you can go to, guess what? Get What Not to Do in Network Marketing. It's there on the front page, $47 for the next 24 hours. Guys, go there. 146 paragraphs, 146 audio files, and many training videos. This is a limited offer. You can save $150, lifetime membership for only $47. I have sold many of these at $197. Save yourself $150 while you can. All right. With that being said, we're going to hop off here. Miss Marie, do you have any idea what Monday's topic is going to be?
Well, I think we touched on it a little earlier when we were talking offline here. How about the selling of the dream?
Oh, how interesting. The selling of the dream.
I think that would be a fascinating topic.
It will be. I look forward to that one because that is going to be a great one. There it is, Monday's topic, which is going to be Monday, the 26th or 7th, 28th, right?
Is it the 20th or is it the 29th? Monday's the 29th.
29th. I'm terrible with that stuff. Okay, Miss Marie has corrected me. It's the 29th. Anyway, it's Monday, regardless of the date. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about the selling of the dream. If you don't know what that means, look, everybody knows what the dream is, but look, there's a purpose, there's a reason, and it's a powerful one. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a deep dive into that. We're going to give you some real life examples that continue to this day how great some people are at selling the dream and the results it provides. It's amazing, simply amazing. All right, Miss Marie, we will see you at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. Guys, have a great weekend. Be safe. God bless. Miss Marie, you do the same. Enjoy your new family members. And you guys have a great one. We'll see you Monday.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.